How many parents we got in here tonight? All right. How many of y'all did that on purpose? Okay, a handful, okay. That's how I identify the narcissists in the crowd. Because it's a weird thing when you think about it. It's like, yo, I'm kicking so much ass at life, I gotta make another one of me. Right? No, I do have a son. He's 1/4 Filipino. All right, and there's a slang word for Filipino. If anybody's not familiar with it in here, it's flip. Flip means Filipino, but he's only 1/4, so he's a quarter flip, which is a huge coincidence because that's how we decided we were gonna keep him in the first place. Takes a minute, okay, yeah, it took a minute, okay, cool, all right. Okay. Sometimes people don't like that joke. I'll get groans, especially when I'm in a red state. All right. I'll get groans. I'll be like, okay, he's 10 now. Calm down. He made it. All right, don't feel bad for him, okay? Feel bad for his sister. That's Okay, so if you were cool with that joke, the rest of the night is gonna go great, by the way. Because that's probably my most offensive joke. I had a lady come up to me after a show, like, that joke that you told at the beginning, that was offensive. I was like, look, I said he made it. It's just a joke, relax. Like, she's like, no, you used a racial slur for Filipinos. And I was confused, because she was white. And she was just like, you can't say that word. I'm like, ma'am, I'm half Filipino. I think you mean you can't say that word. You stay in your own fucking lane. That's what needs to happen right there. Like, how many of y'all are drinking tonight? Oh, yeah. That's what I like to see. I'm a drinker. I love to drink. I love going to bars. There's only one thing I don't like about bars. That's Barstools. Why are they that high? Like, there is no cool way for a guy my height to get up and down from a bar stool, crawling up, hopping down, both feet landing at the same time. People are like, who's this asshole doing parkour back here? Like, some guys go to bars to flirt with women. You can't do that shit as a short guy. Sitting on a bar stool? You can't do that. No woman wants to go to the bar and flirt with a guy that can do this shit with his feet. They just look at you like, aren't you adorable? Where are your parents? Where are you? Bartender, get this young man a juice box, okay? Let's put it on my tab. I got that one. And growing up, I was always attracted to tall women that were taller than me. That sucked. Because tall women don't like to date guys that are shorter than them. Right? I was like, they will eventually. Because you run out of options. I was asking some friends of mine, like they were telling me, like, no, we want to feel petite. We want to be the petite one in the relationship. I'm like, okay, I understand that. Right? I found out there's like kind of a litmus test as far as the height differential on whether she will date you or not. Right? And it's this real quick. It's you got to be able to hold hands down here when you walk down the street. Right? Loosen the shoulder, bend in the elbow, able to swing them comfortably back and forth just like this, looking like assholes. Nobody wants to see a couple that's this happy. But this is better than the alternative, which is this. Because now it looks like she's just hanging on to you, so don't run into the parking lot of the grocery store. Any taller than that, you look ridiculous. You look like a jockey with a racehorse rolling up on your friends, showing up like, hey, Jeremy, come here, man. I want you to meet my new girlfriend. Seabiscuit. Now, I've told that joke for a while, but the way I used to tell it, I used to really go into detail about how I thought tall women are beautiful, because that's a genuine statement. I mean that. I think tall is sexy. But I had to cut that part out of my act, right? Because there would always be a tall woman in the audience that felt flattered prematurely. Because we haven't gotten to the punchline yet. I'm up here waxing poetic about tall women being beautiful. And there's always a tall woman in the audience that's just like, I mean, well, I'm tall. Hey, do you think he's talking about me right now? Yeah, Gina, I know he's short, but he seems kind of sweet, right? Little sweet and low. And then I would say, Seabiscuit. That whole demeanor would change. Now she's like, no, I'm short because I'm half Filipino. I'm sorry. You know, like, everywhere I've lived in the Midwest, a lot of people just mistake me for Mexican. And there's always at least one ignorant guy that's just like, as soon as they find out, and they're like, hell, man, Mexican, Filipino? Shit, man, what's the difference? A fucking hemisphere, man. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to tell you. I don't even know what that word means, man. You speaking Spanish right now? What is that shit? I used to think that was just a white people thing. But like, my neighbor started working on his house and he's hired a crew to do like some construction. And all the workers have been trying to speak Spanish to me. They're like, hola, amigo. Like, oh, shit. Well, he said amigo. Maybe he's just trying to make new friends. It's been a big year for me. I got married this year. Yeah, thank you. About time. And my wife is way smarter than I am. Yeah. Yeah, most of the times they are? Well, I can see why you would think that's her. No, yeah. My wife is way smarter than me, right? She does smart shit, like read. Right? Don't get me wrong, I'm literate, but she reads books. Like books that aren't fun to read. We'll have a quiet night at home. I'll be on my phone making a meme or something. Maybe writing some jokes. I'll look over, hey babe, what are you doing over there? Oh, I'm reading this fascinating book. It's about the Arab colonization of North Africa, but it's written from the perspective of the Algerians. Word? Do you want to hear my new dick joke, or? It's weird that we're compatible. Right? And she's really educated, right? She's got multiple degrees. She's an attorney. She's got 2 LLMs. She's got a Juris Doctorate, right? But she's also from Georgia. So, you know, balances out. Right? Because she'll say some really smart lawyer shit that goes way over my head, and then follow it up with that Georgia shit. Put your head in a spin. She'll come home venting about her work day. Oh my God, today was so stressful. I had to file a writ of mandamus action to compel somebody to perform a non-discretionary duty not protected by sovereign immunity. As that shit's whizzing over my head, our dog will come running across our hardwood floor and do that thing that dogs do on hardwood where they can't get traction, right? They just kind of run in place, doing that shit, right? After she just blew my mind with all that legal jargon, then she'll look down, she'll be like, oh my God, that's so cute. Right now he looked like Scooby-Doo. And I'm like, took some adjusting in our relationship. She had never dated anybody that had a kid before. And I said, I've got a son, right? And when she and I started dating, he was going through this phase where he had this realization that his dad's a comedian, right? So now he wants to be funny all the time. That's how we're supposed to interact. Trying to give me jokes and shit. Dad, you can use this on stage. Fuck you, kid, that's not gonna work. It's like, but it was always jokes that have been done before. Shit he heard off of YouTube. Hey, Dad, knock, knock. Who's there, buddy? D's. Are you about to say D's nuts? How did you know that? How would I not know that? Do you know how old that joke is? Kid, you came from D's nuts. How would you think that I don't know that joke? So like when we started dating, he was trying to run original material by us. 6-year-old humor, right? He's sitting in the back seat. We're all in the car. She's sitting in the front seat. And my wife has a tree nut allergy. That's important for this story, okay? Because he's sitting in the back, and out of nowhere, he's just like, hey, Kendall, you're allergic to nuts, right? Are you allergic to my dad's nuts? Yeah, he said it. He fully committed to the bit. At no point in his 6-year-old brain did he ever think, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have said this. Like, he fully committed, which part of me respected, to be honest. And we responded with 15 seconds of awkward silence. And in his 6-year-old brain, he heard that silence and processed it. He was just like, maybe they didn't get it. So then he starts explaining it to us, which was more awkward than his joke in the first place, because he's like, like pee-pee nuts? I'm like, shut the fuck, what are you doing? Before she and I started dating, I spent a lot of time as a single dad. Anybody in here been a single parent before? Good on y'all. It's a challenge, right? And I only had to deal with one kid, right? But he was a little boy. And little boys are monsters, right? My kid was an animal. My house was so messy. He was because little boys destroy everything. They make so many messes. They never clean up after themselves. You gotta wait till they go to sleep. That's what I would have to do. Put my son to bed, and then I could do the adult shit for the day. I could do my dishes. I could do my laundry. For me, I was a single guy at the time. That's when I did my manscaping. Right? And everybody knows what manscaping is now, but especially here in a city and everything. Sometimes I've tried to tell this joke in a pretty rural area where nobody knows what manscaping is. Doing a show in front of 200 Duck Dynasty looking motherfuckers. That was the men and the women, by the way. I don't want to I was doing this joke in front of a room, and there was an older couple right in the front row. Older lady with her husband. And I knew that they didn't know what manscaping was because in the middle of a show, she just pulls out her phone and starts Googling manscaping, which was adorable, right? Because she was like, what is he talking? Oh. And she looked at her husband like, yeah, you should try some of this. Yeah, first of all, they say it makes it look bigger. Plus, that way on your birthday, I wouldn't be like, yeah. That's a joke about older people that still blow each other. Some of them still do it. I know we got some younger people in here right now that are really uncomfortable. Because I started making you think about older people, and then I started thinking about blowjobs. And like now you're thinking about your grandma. And nobody wants to think about gam being like glug glug. Like I get it. It's uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable. But some of them do it. One night I put my son to bed, right? And then I went back downstairs into my bathroom for the deforestation. All right, I'm in my bathroom, got my beard trimmers out. Yeah. By the way, I've got 2 sets of beard trimmers, just for clarification. All right, I've got one for my face, and another one that my friends can borrow. And then right in the middle of everything, all of a sudden, I heard my son's voice. I'm looking down, and all of a sudden I hear, Daddy, what are you doing? He was only 5 at the time. He didn't understand advanced concepts like making a good first impression. So I didn't know what I was gonna tell him. So I panicked like any parent would in a situation like that. And I was like, shut the door! And then he stepped inside and he shut the door behind him. Because I didn't clarify, and now I'm scrambling, right? What the hell am I gonna tell this kid? And he starts hitting me with other questions at that point. It's like an interrogation. He's just like, Daddy, you playing with your pee-pee? Now, how many of you have raised boys? Okay. So when he asked if I was playing with my pee-pee, you know that's exactly what he thought I was doing. Because that's what he does all the time. I don't know what it is about young little boys, but as soon as they start to figure out stuff going on down there, they never stop touching it. They could be having a normal conversation with you, making direct eye contact like psychopaths. They'll be like, hey, Dad, we're at a Capri Sun. Like, stop that. You can tell who's raised boys in here. I just sent him off to bed. And I laughed about it. I kept laughing about it because that's funny to me. That's sort of like how the innocence of a child. That's how a little kid sees the world. He's just like, oh, I do that too. Ah, let's do it together. Ah, ping. Like, it's like... I don't know why that's a sound, but that makes it like that's what it sounds like to me. And I kept repeating it as he was sleeping. I was laughing as I'm finishing up. Dad, are you playing with your pee-pee? Like, yeah, it's pretty funny. That's good. I wasn't laughing the next day because he would not drop it. He just kept bringing it up in public around complete strangers. Like walk into a grocery store. He's like, Daddy, you played with your pee-pee last night. I'm like, you shut the fuck up. Like, would you? I will beat your ass. I will. I don't care. I would threaten my son. I would threaten my child with physical violence in front of strangers because I'm just brown enough that I can do that, and white people will mind their own fucking business. I don't know why that's a thing, but that's something I notice. Sometimes I'll say some shit and there will be some white person that wants to get into the bit like, hey, you shouldn't talk to him. Like, well, I don't know, that's a cultural thing. There are people do that. I don't want to, who am I? I don't want to. I don't hit my kid. I don't, right? Not because I don't want to. The reason I don't hit my kid is because he's huge, right? Like he's way bigger than other children his age. And I can take him now. But I don't want him to get to high school and start beating my ass. Because I won't let him stay out late or some shit like that. No. But like my parents used to beat the shit out of me. Like, my dad moved here from the Philippines when he was 10, all right? And he was like, because he moved here when he was so young, he became really Americanized. Still uses like that old school nerdy sounding slang, right? Hey, knucklehead, you need to quit lollygagging. We got to skedaddle. Like, what? But my dad was awesome. Like, he would try to learn words for my generation. I grew up in the 90s. He would watch MTV, pick up on the different slang words, right? I remember one day he was just like, hey, don't you diss me, biatch. And we'd want to make fun of him. We would, but we never would. We never made fun of my dad because we were terrified of him. He's one of those parents that like to punish with a belt. Anybody in here get punished with a belt? Okay, statistically high for this many white people. I saw the brown people all raise their hands. The white people that clapped, y'all must have grown up poor. That's, I love how some of the people back there are pointing to each other. No, my dad's weapon of choice was the belt. And it sucked because he was good at it. My dad would get a belt in his hands and suddenly he thought he was Bruce Lee. I'd get in trouble and he'd be like, now bend over and grab your ankles. Now here's the thing. Those of you that got hit with a belt, you can back me up on this, right? When you're getting hit with a belt, your natural instinct is to jump out of the way, but that's the worst idea ever. All that does is infuriate he who wields the belt, and now you've just increased your punishment activities on this week's episode of This Is Gonna Hurt Me More Than It Hurts You. If I ever dared to jump out of the way, it was like suddenly I was living in a real-life video game, but my dad's the only character that can do all the special moves. Because he would jump into a 24-hit combo, just like, finish him. I told you not to lollygag. Now skedaddle, biatch. Oh. Thank you. So my point is, we were afraid of the man, right? But we were terrified of my mom, because she was the badass of the family. You know, like sometimes kids play that game where like, my dad could kick your dad's ass. I'm like, my mom could fuck both of them up. One slap each. Her slap was vicious. Just take your head off. It was legendary in our household. We used to call it the JFK Slap because your neck would snap back into the left. Too soon? Did you? 60 fucking years ago. What are you talking about? Most of us are gonna die sooner than that. Like, what do you? You don't have to like that joke, by the way. But that is what we called it. That's a true story. That's what we called it in our house. And my mom was proud of that shit. She got hip to that and found out we were calling it the JFK Slap. She started threatening us with it. You better sit your ass down because I am getting on the grassy knoll right now. Like, okay, Mom. We're good. Keep that shit away from me. So I don't do that to my child. Right? We're trying to raise my son to be a good man. Right? Me, my wife, his mom, her husband, all four of us, we're trying to raise a decent human being, right? Right now, the lesson that we're teaching him is we want him not to mansplain. Yeah. Which meant I had to figure out how to explain what mansplaining is to a 10-year-old boy. Which is hard because there's a lot of grown men that don't know what the fuck mansplaining is. You see them posted on like, mansplaining is just short for a man explaining. Like, that's what they think it means. Ladies, I know you guys know what mansplaining is. Y'all can tune out for the next 30 seconds because I'm gonna explain it for the fellas in here, and I don't want you to think that I'm doing it to you. Okay? This is just for the guys. Fellas, listen up. Let this sink in. Mansplaining is when a man condescends to a woman about a topic that she's more qualified to talk about than he is in the first place. Yeah. That's what it means. Okay? Fellas, let that sink in. Commit it to memory. You've got it. Cool. You've got it. You've got it. You guys got it? Okay, cool. Perfect. On your way home, I want you to explain it to these bitches. Yeah. I love the fact that all the women laugh at that joke because it would be so uncomfortable if they didn't. I'd be up here like, you should smile more. And then I get like, feel like I'm going backwards. I'm not doing my part. No, we are trying to teach him to be good. One of the things that's nice about like coming out and doing comedy is I get to talk to other adults, right? Have adult conversation, right? I can curse as much as I want, right? And all that. And it's funny, like sometimes you're having like adult conversations and other people can get offended or whatever, like grossed out, put off, whatever you want to call it. I was having guy talk with a buddy of mine. We were just at a bar, drinking some beers, having guy talk, talking about our girls, talking about our sex lives, right? And then out of nowhere, he starts talking about anal. Yeah. I responded like most of you are right now, which is just sat there and was like, okay, I guess we're gonna listen to this guy talk about anal for a few minutes. I don't know why he wanted to talk about it, but I'm a good friend, so I listened. And there was this woman that was eavesdropping on us. She was sitting on the other side of me. And she was cool with all the outlandish shit we had been saying all night till she heard that word, anal. That's when she chimed in. She was like, ew! I was like, oh, shit. I'm sorry, ma'am. I know we're drinking and we're being loud. We'll try to keep it down. She's like, oh, no, I'm into it. Just don't call it anal, all right? Call it butt stuff. What? Don't say anal. That's disgusting when you say it like that, okay? Say butt stuff. It makes it sound better. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And don't get me wrong, I understand the logic behind that thinking. Because if we're breaking it down grammatically, it does sound a little better, right? First word, butt. Euphemism, not a curse word. I think we can all agree on that. Right? Second word, stuff. I'll admit, it sounds more playful. Right? Sounds a little more innocent. But that's only if you think of that word stuff in its noun form and completely forget the fact that it's also a verb. Yeah, I know, this one takes a minute to get for some people. I told this joke in the South. They didn't get it at all. It was weird night. I had to explain the difference between a noun and a verb to 200 people. It was weird. I wasn't above it. I was just like, okay, guys, noun versus verb. Let's talk about it. Okay, I'm not above that. All right? Let's use the words we're talking about, though. Butt and stuff. Put them back together. Butt stuff. Use it as a noun. You're in the clear. Example. Hey, babe. After I get off work tonight, maybe we can cook a little dinner, watch a little Netflix, fool around, maybe even try a little butt stuff. You're good. You're in the clear. You may get shut down. You may get shut down, but you used it as a noun, so you're in the clear. You try to use it as a verb, like, when I get home, I'm gonna butt stuff you. That sounds horrifying. It sounds like there's not much of a warning that's coming with it. Like, when you least expect it, surprise. That's my favorite part of the joke, that sound. Just that. See how some people laugh harder every time I do it, and other people brings back painful memories? I call that sodomatopoeia. That's a... I'm gonna grab a water. So I mentioned earlier that I got married this year. And we went through the whole planning process, and I had an idea of what to expect. I've been to a ton of weddings, right? I've been to, like, I'm 42. I'm at an age where all of my friends have been married at least once, right? There's some people in here that are like looking at each other like, he called you out. Like, it's like, that's not... No, I'm just saying, like I'm at an age where it was time, right? So I had an idea what to expect. So I've been to a ton of weddings, is my point. I was thinking about some of the weddings I've been to, and a few years back, I took my son to a wedding, right? He was my date, right? Yeah. And I was just sitting at our assigned table, and he was playing with the other little kids on the dance floor, which always made me nervous, right? Because he was huge. He was huge for his age. He was 5 at the time. He was wearing size 10 clothes. For the parents in here, like, you guys know, that's 10-year-old size. See what I'm saying? 10-year-old body, 5-year-old brain. Right? He was like Lenny from Mice and Men. Good job, guys. That's just a joke for people that read. So y'all got that part. So he was being good, which I was happy about, all right? Because there was this woman that came to the wedding, and like, we were hitting it off. She came to the wedding by herself, and we were flirting, and we were hitting it off, and things are going well. There's chemistry, and my son comes running up, And he was just like interrupting us like, Daddy, I want a cupcake. Right, because he spotted the cupcakes. They had cupcakes instead of wedding cake because my friends are poor. Fuck you, I had a cupcake wedding too. So like, I don't want to. No, but I had to be a parent in the moment. I had to be like, hey, excuse me, real quick, just got to talk to my kid. Like, hey, buddy, we can't have cupcakes yet. You got to wait until after the dances go on a little. And he stomps off. He's just like, Rah! And goes stomping off because kids are impatient. And I went back to my conversation with this woman, like thinking she'd be understanding, and I could be like, kids, right? She was having none of that. She was judging me. She had her arms crossed. She was like, that's a little cruel, don't you think? Telling a little kid he can't have a cupcake. I don't like to be told how to parent. And I'm a huge smartass. And both of those factors superseded my need to get some pussy that night. So my response to that was like, cruel. Okay. It was a little cruel, but watch this. Hey, buddy, come here. You're gonna have to wait for a cupcake or you'll never see mommy again. And I couldn't wait to see the look on her face. I turned, I looked up, and as soon as we locked eyes, my son was like, Daddy played with his pee-pee last night. I'm like, you son of a bitch. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. You've been an amazing crowd. Thank you.